I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com in part 2 of a dogfight battle between Motorola's DROID RAZR MAXX HD and Samsung's Galaxy S3, both on Verizon. Starts in just a second, but first, special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us devices like these for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game, which is our free phone giveaway that we do at instantwin.phonedog.com. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile, you won't deal with rebates, so when you go to buy these this holiday season, you're not going to deal with paperwork or waiting 8 to 10 weeks or spending more than you want to. Well, you may spend more than you want to, but you won't spend it and get it back after rebate. At Best Buy Mobile, no paperwork, no fuss, no worries. Let's take a look. DROID RAZR MAXX HD, Galaxy S3. It's part 2 of a dogfight battle, and it starts right now. Part 2 of an epic dogfight battle, and I say that at the beginning of every video, but it's really the case this holiday season. You've got a ton of great phones to choose from. The RAZR MAXX HD, I don't know why it's so hard to say this, the RAZR MAXX HD, it's just got a lot of words in the title. And then you have the Samsung Galaxy S3 over here. We've talked about it, we've done a ton of videos. This is the Verizon version, it's an iconic device. Samsung has sold over 30 million of these worldwide. And then you have a bunch of new stuff, newcomers to the market. The Note 2, the Lumia 920, the Lumia 820, the Lumia 810, the Xperia TL, the iPhone 5, the One S, the Galaxy Nexus is still around, the Nexus 4 is around. A ton of great choices to choose from this holiday season. These are just two of the awesome ones. They're both on Verizon, $299.99 here, $199.99 here for the 16GB version, and for the 32GB version, $249.99 on VerizonWireless.com and in retail stores around the nation. That said, you can find this one in 4 colors. You can find it in brown, black, online, and then in stores you can find it in white and blue, obviously, as well as online. So 4 colors online, 2 colors in store, at least right now. The benefit over here, the RAZR MAXX HD brings an HD display and really kind of updates the original DROID RAZR MAXX. It's got the same 3,300 milliamp hour battery over here. This device, on the other hand, really the distinguishing kind of characteristic of the Galaxy S3, if I had to choose something, is software. It's really great on the software front. TouchWiz is exceptional in comparison to previous versions. This one is really going to appeal to the Android purists. This one is getting more and more stock as it goes. Obviously, with Google's acquisition of Motorola, I assume that has some level of influence in the decision-making process for Moto Blur, what used to be Moto Blur, but still very stock look and feel over here all around. Let's jump right into some speed tests and take a look at that, because both of these are packing the same 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 CPU. So let's take a look at the benchmark on both of these devices and see which one comes out on top. Now, obviously, battery life, there's no spoiler here by any means. The DROID RAZR MAXX HD wins in the battery life department. The 3,300 milliamp hour battery works really well over here, though I will say, obviously, due to an HD display, it's not quite as snappy, quite as good in the battery life department as the original DROID RAZR MAXX. That's obviously a trade-off because you do get a great display, but I'm getting, I'd say, between about 19 and 22 hours of moderate use on this device with a 3,300 milliamp hour battery. That's calling, texting, emailing, browsing the web, some light stuff all around, but using it on a pretty regular basis. Galaxy S3 battery life is not the forte for this device. Even though it has a 2,100 milliamp hour battery, I get about 12 hours of use out of the Galaxy S3. And granted, you know, in today's smartphones, it's good to get a day's use. A day is pretty impressive all around. That said, battery life obviously is going to go to the DROID RAZR MAXX HD, but then again, you're paying a premium for that 3,300 milliamp hour battery. My recommendation, honestly, between these two is to go, actually, in terms of both of these and kind of their brothers and sisters, go with the DROID RAZR HD, because it's got a bigger battery now. It's got a 2,530 milliamp hour battery. It's only $199.99. Yeah, granted, you do lose some storage space, but still, unless you just absolutely think you need that, you know, 800 milliamp hours additional battery capacity, I'd say go with the RAZR HD, just because the battery's been increased. The original one had a much smaller battery, it had a 1,780 milliamp hour battery. So quadrant standard, 4,954 over here, 4,681 over on the Galaxy S3. So it does come out higher on the DROID RAZR MAXX HD. That said, you know what, take it with a grain of salt. It's not always indicative of day-to-day performance, but at least in quadrant standard terms, this one comes out on top. Let's take a look here at Speedtest. Bam, bam, load this up. Get it on Dallas, Texas. This one I had to uninstall and reinstall, so let me go ahead and change that around. We're going to begin that test. Verizon quotes a promised download speed on 4G LTE between 5 and 12 megabits per second, and a promised upload speed between 2 and 5 megabits per second. That said, we are in the middle of kind of a rush hour area in North Dallas right now. The LBJ is probably packed with traffic right now, which is not too far from here. You've got the tollway, which is packed. You've got Stemmons, which is packed. Got a ton of different areas that are packed in terms of traffic right now. That said, those are pretty impressive numbers given the fact that we're probably in the middle of rush hour right now. 9 megabits per second, 9.79 megabits per second over here, 8.21 megabits per second on the upload. Download here, 11 megabits per second, upload 9.5. So the download did come in higher on the Galaxy S3. That said, again, take it with a grain of salt. This is not indicative, I'm not to say that this one's a better 4G LTE device by any means, but you can really see what these Verizon 4G LTE devices can do. That said, 4.7, 4.8, another little software feature I'm a fan of on this device. Let's see, I don't have a video, unfortunately. Let me see what I can do to record one. We'll go ahead and take a look at the cameras on both of these devices. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you. The winner of the camera contest is the Galaxy S3 just because of the features. Well, first of all, the image is fantastic, but also the features over here are really, really impressive. There are some things I love. HDR is great. Smile shot is absolutely great. Burst shot is fantastic. So I can come in here and take 20 pictures and it'll let me choose the best one, or I can click best shot and take 8 instead of 20. It's a great feature. Love this when you're watching like a sports game, you're watching your kid play, and you're like, you know what, I want to take a bunch of pictures. Buddy Photo Share is great too because you can tag people in your pictures and email those quickly and easily. Share Shot is great, and I'll tell you, I use S-Beam all the time. I've got quite a few people in my life that have Galaxy S3s. Actually, 2 people just picked up Galaxy Note 2s, and it is so easy. S-Beam is the one underutilized feature on this device because when you have another Galaxy S3 device or a Galaxy Note 2, all you have to do is tap them and you can start an S-Beam. So if you have a bunch of pictures from a vacation, click them all, put them back to back, and those pictures can send quickly and easily. That's not to say that NFC hasn't been around for a while, but the implementation, it's much like an Apple thing with Samsung. It's not that the feature or the technology hasn't been around for a while, but the implementation that Samsung has done is absolutely fantastic. Over here, image quality is good. Over here, you do get some settings, and of course, the camera is a little bit better. That said, I find that Motorola is kind of stuck with the same image sensor that they've had for some time, so that's something to keep in mind. Over on the DROID RAZR MAXX HD, it's a decent image. It's not going to be amazing by any means, as you can see right here. For example, we'll bring it in. You see, it's a relatively decent image, given the standard settings and pinch to zoom responsiveness. It's relatively decent over here. That said, it's not going to be the most amazing thing by any stretch of the imagination. Features are where it's at. Software features now, because hardware honestly is pretty similar across the board. We're getting into quad-core processors, but outside of that, it's really similar all across the board. So that said, a winner of the Dogfight has to be declared, but before we do that, I want to show you PhoneDog.com on both of these devices. Let's do PhoneDog.com over here. Actually, I'm going to show you in Chrome because one, there's no stock browser over here anymore because they brought Chrome over as the standard. And so we'll load up PhoneDog.com on both of these devices. So it's loading up right now. And you can see here, pinch to zoom, incredibly responsive all around. Portrait to landscape transitions, nice and fast. I love the Chrome browser. I actually have it downloaded on all my devices when I'm working with them. And then of course, very responsive over here as well. Portrait to landscape transition, nice in the Galaxy S3, but a winner has to be declared. And the winner of this dogfight, and I'll tell you why it's the winner for a couple of reasons. One, the winner of the dogfight is the Galaxy S3. It's winner for a couple of reasons. One, the software features are fantastic on the Galaxy S3. When you look at bang for the buck in today's world and you realize, you know what, specs are really similar, it's all about software. This thing offers an incredible, incredible software package. It's got some great features. S-Beam's fantastic. TouchWiz is fantastic. A lot of the included software things really make this device what it is. You can tell that they correctly realize that they need to build an ecosystem around Samsung devices and not just around Android, because let's be honest, there are hundreds of Android devices. That is something that Samsung has done incredibly well. It's a fast device, and not to say that this isn't fast as well. This is very fast, but that, and then two, the price point is a little bit high on the DROID RAZR MAXX HD. If you want this device, you really enjoy that stock Android appearance, it's a great device. I would suggest going with the Motorola DROID RAZR HD because it does have a bigger battery, it's $100 cheaper, and you can get the best of both worlds. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage. Let me know what you think of this dogfight, which one you like more, at PhoneDog_Aaron on Twitter and on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage with both of these devices. It's a hot season of smartphones, and there's a lot more work to do before the holidays. So be sure to stay tuned to PhoneDog.com. And as always, I'll see you next time.